Okay. In this video, I want to show you how to get a border around the whole thing. Now you may want to have one or many borders on your project, but not sure how to get a really clean looking one. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to take my medallion here and just set it off to the side. I'm going to take that extra clay that I have and wedge it to get a nice even thickness on that coil. I'm going to actually roll this out and cut it. So here we go. Okay, I'm using single thickness sticks, and I'm going to use these sticks to cut a perfectly straight line. Okay, I was actually able to turn this into two lengths of borders, but it's nice and flat. Now I have two options when I put my border on. I could put it around the outside like this, or I can put it on top . So once I got it on there, I'll lift it up and slip and score it into place. Okay, on this next one, I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques for additive clay that you can do. So one thing you might want to do is create shapes that you lay over the surface. Now when you add clay to the surface of your project, you want it to be very thin. So I'm going to start by rolling this clay out with the thin sticks. And now I'm going to use the flipping technique to make it even thinner. Now to get rid of the cracks on the surface, use a rolling pin, make it a little bit thinner. We want to try and get this as thin as possible, so that, because sometimes we might have a whole bunch of additions on this clay surface. We don't want it to get too thick. So let's say I was going to do some sort of flower design. I can make petals Again, we're trying to create as many layers as we can. Now if I was going to use these petals, I wanted to add more interest to it, I would actually probably make some textures in these petals, give a little bit different texture to each petal, give it more character and sophistication. Adding little details like this will enhance your grade on the project. I want to maintain my radial balance on my project here. So I'm going to start, I want it to come out from the center point. It's good to have these guidelines so that I know where to place my petals. And with my petals, now I can stack them on top of each other. I could cut out some more petals. And you can see very quickly, I get a really cool looking multi-layered design without a whole ton of effort. Okay? But I build from the ground up. Alright, ready for another cool trick? This is to create like a braided rope kind of thing. So let's say I wanted to make a more decorative border around the outside, or maybe have some sort of decorative rope piece. Very easy to do. We need very long, very thin coils. So here I have a nice kind of thin piece of clay just laying around. I'm just going to turn this into a coil here. Okay, now that I have my two coils, my two very thin coils, I'm going to just hold one end still and roll and kind of twist them together. Now I got to be very careful. These are pretty dried out. This is probably too dry. But as you can see, as they twist together, I'll just break off a little sample. Okay, as they twist together, we get this kind of rope-like texture. And we can take this texture and put it any number of places. You know, maybe we could use it for a border or something else. But there's a twisted rope texture. Use it as you see fit.